You want to save that timeout if you can for the kicker in the event in which you get sacked or tackled inbounds short of the line to gain. So
Kirby Smart's out on the field. There's no timeout here. It was a spike.
Yeah, I think he thought it was a timeout. He ran back quickly as his get-back coach was yelling at him at the top of his lungs.
King seems to be having trouble telling what the play is on his wristband. They still have time to get it off, 10 seconds, but some confusion, it seems, on the offense. They're lined up now. And now Georgia wants a timeout. Or maybe Kirby's just trying to catch his breath after the sprint to the middle of the field.
He's pretty fortunate there, too. I mean, usually you come that far onto the field, you can get flagged for unsportsmanlike. Fortunate they didn't call that. I guess he was able to get off in time.
Kirby Smart, just 47 years old, already 2 national championships back-to-back, and going for a three-peat, something that has not been done since the Minnesota Golden Gophers did it in the mid-1930s. His winning percentage through 100 career games was best in SEC history, 85-15, and he has added 7 more wins since.
He's just terrific and has built a remarkable program that even the departures they've had the last couple of years hasn't dropped off at all.
Play fake by King. He can't take a sack. He does. They'll have to use the timeout. Miller dropped him back at the 32.
And Miller engaged with the right tackle, Jordan Williams. And he pushes Jordan Williams off its side, and Haynes King runs right into the pressure. You just can't do that if you're Haynes King. You have to know the circumstances. That essentially extinguishes any chance at a touchdown, because now you've had to call your last timeout. Might be able to heave one to the end zone, but
Miller's first career sack. Well, if you do run another play, it's risky.
Very.
He needs to wind up in the end zone, out of bounds or incomplete, where the half's going to end.
Yeah, you absolutely have to get the ball out of your hands, too. A sack here obviously extinguishes a chance of stealing points, so you have to get the ball out.
Burr's long is 48, and now George is going to use another timeout. And he is obviously very actively involved in the administration of the defense. So what do you do if you're Georgia Tech? I mean, you have to be very careful. You don't want to give away the chance for the field goal. Burr has a long enough leg, big enough leg to kick one from here and be about 49.
Try to run a little scissors concept where the slot is going to run a corner route and the outside receiver is going to run a post. You read that safety to the right-hand side. In this particular case, it'd be Malachi Starks. So I'd look at something like this and see if you can't get out of bounds potentially.
And they throw it to the end zone, caught by Singleton, out of bounds.
It was a really good throw there by Haynes King. He's able to squeeze in there just a little bit too far outside, and even as he goes to the ground, Singleton, it looks like that ball might have even button bobbled just a hair, but it's a small window he had to fit it into, and let to settle for 3.
So now Aiden Burr, redshirt freshman, who missed all of last season with a knee injury, suffered while he was in high school. His first year as the kicker, and his percentage is best in Georgia Tech history in a single season among kickers with a minimum of 10 attempts. With the 2 field goals tonight, he's 13 out of 14. That record was actually set last year by Gavin Stewart, who went 12 out of 13 to set the single season field goal percentage record for Georgia Tech, 92.3. And he was the kicker at the start of this year, but he went 0 for 3 at the beginning of the year, paved the way for Burr, and he's the man. As long as 48 against Wake Forest, and that is his longest attempt. David Shanahan, the punter, is the holder. Henry Freer, the snapper. From 49, no good. Snap and hold looked fine. He just pulled it wide left. And as we said earlier, I think if you keep having to kick field goals, you're not going to hang in there with Kirby Smart's team. Here's Molly.
Coach, the quarterback run game hurt you guys at times, but what did your defense do well in that final drive?
Well, we played good red area defense a couple times. We gave up a 3rd and 9 in the red area, and we had a big stop there before the half. You can't let them get started like that.
How did your offense find some success despite missing some key skill players?
Well, they really hadn't missed
yards there in the first half, nearly 7 yards per carry. The Yellow Jackets got to find an answer against the 1-2 punch.
And it's Mekhi Muse taking the opening kickoff. And another good return. He had a 34-yard kickoff return in the first half. This one's 37.
Let's take a look at tonight's Mark of a Fighter moment, brought to you by Modelo. It's those running backs, the 1-2 punch. Milton being back's been huge for the Georgia offense. A little bit of movement up front. He dices it right behind the pullers, and then he surges forward into the end zone a few plays later. And then Edwards got his chance. A little counter action to the outside. It's well blocked, especially by the tight end Delp, who leads the way, and then he finishes off a couple plays later as he stretches for the end zone and finds pay dirt. It's really been a great first half for the offensive line of the Bulldogs.
Playing without Tate Ratledge, their starting right guard. Edwards dropped for a loss by Paul Moala. The linebacker played last year at Idaho, 1 year there after a couple of years at Notre Dame. He tore both Achilles in less than a year when he was at Notre Dame.
That was a great play, and that's what Georgia Tech has to do defensively. They have to be more aggressive at the second level because they were kind of cautious there in the first half, and they were engaging in contact with the running backs and getting mowed over. So they have to be more aggressive and try to shoot the gap.
Loss of a yard. Carson Beck 8 out of 11 passing. Steps into the pocket and fires a rocket that bounces around, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Dylan Bell.
Nearly intercepted off the deflection too, as it bounces right back inside. Nearly it picked off.
Georgia didn't have many 3rd downs in the first half. They're 3 out of 3, improving on their season 57% percentage that led the country coming in. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. On 3rd down and 11, lots of time for Beck. Going deep for Bell, and he has it. Inbounds, it's a catch. The officials conferring, and they're going to mark it at the 24-yard line of Georgia Tech. 39 yards.
Amazing throw by Carson Beck, and how about the concentration from Bell? Looks like that right foot gets down as he secures the catch. Let's take a look right there. Does he have control?
He didn't have control of it.
The ball still moving a little bit there as that right.
After further review, the receiver bobbled the ball. The pass is incomplete.
Here's another look at it, and it really isn't until just now that it looked like Bell had it. Matt Austin, what do you think?
I agree with the call. I think he is bobbling the ball throughout his fingers. He gets firm control, but he's already out of bounds. So I think that's a good overturn to incomplete.
And a great play by Rodney Shelley, the corner in coverage, just playing it all the way through the end, getting that arm in there to try to dislodge the ball a little bit further. That was an excellent job by the corner.
So Brett Thorson on for the first Georgia punt of the night. One of the many remarkable things about this Georgia team, they have not had a punt returned against them this year. He's punted 26 times. They've all been fair catches, rolled dead, gone out of bounds. not a single punt return, and part of it is the great work of the gunners. It's Dominic Blaylock, the former Georgia Bulldog, back deep. Arian Smith and Dominic Lovett do a fantastic job running down quickly, and there still won't be a punt return against Georgia. Fair catch by Blaylock. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Sean, Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key said they kept Georgia's defense on their heels by mixing it up with the run and the pass, and he stressed that the quarterback run game is going to be crucial in this second half, so they'll continue to ask Haynes King to run with it. And Key was emotional and fired up coming out of the locker room, saying, we have 30 minutes. We've been down by more than this and come back before to win games that no one thought that we'd win. We're not afraid. We have what it takes to win this game, guys.
Yeah, they've had an up and down season in that regard. They've blown some leads, and of course they had the miracle of miracles in their win at Miami, and all Miami had to do was take a knee and win the game. They ran a play and fumbled, and Georgia Tech went in the final minute. They went 74 yards, scored with 1 second left to win. Jamal Haynes, the ball carrier. We got to the 27, 5 yards on the run. Dante Smith upended, but gets the sent Smith into the air. It's a pickup of 7.
Georgia Tech picking up right where they left off in the first half. Really been efficient running it outside the tackles against the Georgia defense. They're going to continue to attack that. I'm surprised so far that the leverage of those defensive ends is still head up to the outside man. You'd think they'd widen a bit so that they could take away some of those outside runs.
Dante Smith has another first down with an 11-yard gain.
Good block there on the edge by Luke Benson, the tight end. Ask him to do a lot there in the run game. He doesn't get a lot of passes, but he can be very effective as kind of that fullback H-back for Buster Faulkner's offense.
Dante Smith up to 55 yards rushing on 9 carries. Here he comes for very little. Well played by Raylan Wilson, true freshman from Tallahassee. Haynes King, highly recruited out of high school, went to Texas A&M. He was kind of in and out of the starting lineup over 3 years. Also battled some injuries. He said he and his dad had decided he would never transfer from a school unless the entire coaching staff got fired or unless he graduated and could be a grad transfer. Over the middle, off the hands of Luke Benson, and almost picked off by Javon Bullard.
Got to give credit to Haynes King too, just persevering through the adversity at A&M and really coming out the other side as a great player.
Well, he decided to graduate in 3 years so that he could transfer. Got his degree from A&M. He had a relationship with Chris Wenke from his recruiting time. There's another ball through the hands of his receiver. That one for Chase Lane, a wide receiver with just 7 catches all year. Chris Wenke was at Tennessee and tried to recruit King there. So he made the contact with Haynes King when he went in the portal. And he said he very quickly came to like what he heard about what Brent Key had in mind for this program. He said he'd never really been in a big city, liked Atlanta, and it's worked out very well for all concerned. David Shanahan to punt. Kai Muse back for it.
Ball start. Offense from 27. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Good kick. Muse muffs it and it goes out of bounds. Big break for Georgia. He has a chance for a career night. His career high is 127 earlier this year, just a couple of weeks ago against Ole Miss in that big win against the top 10 ranked Rebels. So after a wild start, the game has settled in a little bit. Here's Milton with lots of blockers out in front. And that'll get him over 100 before he's finally whistled for stop forward progress at his own 43.
And a great job by Ernest Green and Oscar Delp out there. They pull around, little pin and pull technique. Milton gets upfield. As you can see, it's so hard to bring him down when he's at full speed. 220 pounds, but man, he's a load and can really finish runs.
So they quickly get out of their worst starting field position of the night. This one started at their own 14. But they've gone 29 yards and 2 runs by Milton. Quiet night for Beck. They've not asked him to throw it much. 8 out of 13. Milton again. And why would you throw it when he can get you 9.5 per carry? Kenan Johnson made the tackle.
Well, and the defensive coordinator, Kevin Sherr, clearly recognizing that they got to get more aggressive because they've been gashed over and over again. That time he calls internal blitz. Milton bounces it to the outside. There's plenty of space for him to find another nice gain on the ground.
Well, that's a career high 132 on just 13 carries. Eclipsing by 5 the previous career high put up 2 weeks ago. They were ready for him that time. Stopped and driven back by the middle of that defense. Daquan Dowse, Cornelius Tatum.
1 yard loss on the play.
Daquan Dowse is not very big, but he's very quick, so he's going to have to win against a massive offensive line with quickness. That time slides inside and they make initial contact behind the line of scrimmage for really the first time all night, it feels like.
Second and 11. Neither team has had a 2-score lead tonight. This 8-point advantage for Georgia, the largest for either side. Beck over the middle, caught. Dominic Lovett, first down inside the 30 with Jalen King, the outstanding 6th-year safety right there for Georgia Tech.
And tremendous timing from Carson Beck. Lovett breaks across. Pretty well defended there by King. He arrives just on time, but the throw is perfect. Right into Lovett's midsection. He can body up that receiver, shield him from the defender, and there was a nice pitch and catch.
Four catches for 60 yards for Lovett. Marion Smith, a rare touch. He can move. He's been a sprinter on the track team. They turned it over, and Georgia Tech only had to go 37 yards for the touchdown. Jackets have had only 2 field goals since. Have not scored since the second quarter. Here's Singleton. Eric Singleton. Malachi Starks trying to run him down. Out of bounds, just shy of the 10-yard line.
Just a great job on the outside, too, by Dylan Leonard and Luke Benson. The 2 tight ends, they go out and engage with 2 of the defenders, Bullard and Tyke Smith, and Singleton's out the gate.
Scored that as a pass play for 57, and that run dropped by Tyke Smith. Their leading tackler for the year, he dropped Dante Smith for a loss of a yard.
He's been absolutely outstanding all season long. I mean, played at a crazy high level just about every week. 2 games that he wasn't, but he was still great in those ones, too. Tyke Smith, their star defender, one of many great ones for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Leading tackler, their team leader in tackles for a loss, now with 7.5 for the year. And that's as a member of their secondary. Dante Smith. Are you surprised they've totally gone away from Haynes King on design running plays?
I am, especially this part of the field. I mean, at this part of the field, when the field gets condensed, quarterback run is your friend. I mean, at this point, unless you're really trying to work perimeter run game still like they've had success with, I don't understand why they would just want to just hammer it up inside with their backs. I mean, Haynes King with the misdirection stuff has been very difficult to defend tonight and really all throughout the season.